10 p.m. on the clock. You're welcome to Ghana Tonight. I'm Kemeni Amano. Top of the news this hour. Ayawaso Eastern DC head to the polls on Saturday for a new parliamentary candidate. Last-minute polls already giving wife of deceased MP a leap ahead of the rest. Tonight, the spotlight on a brewing political party race. The NPP chairmanship race is getting crowded, and the list of contenders grows tall. And it's a funky fugu Friday. Ghanaian MPs show up to work in smocks in response to Zambia's reaction to President Mahama's attire of choice while visiting the Southern African country. You're live on TV3 and also listening to us live on 392.7 FM. This is Ghana Tonight. I'm Kemeni Amano. You can also watch us as we stream live on Facebook.com, X.com, YouTube, and 3news.com. If you'd like to be a part of the program with your questions, comments, or thoughts, remember to use the hashtag Ghana Tonight. Time now for some news summaries in Ghana Brief.
Parliament has passed a new bill to establish an authority to implement the 24-hour economy program days after the policy document was presented to the House. It was colorful in the chamber when members clad themselves in beautifully woven smock to celebrate the country's rich cultural identity. The bill was passed after extensive deliberations and debate between the majority and minority caucuses on the floor of the House.
The idea behind it is to create jobs and opportunities for our youthful population. Unemployment is a major issue, and the National Democratic Congress admits that we have a problem of unemployment. That is why, for us, it's a matter of great joy that ultimately this Parliament has passed the 24-hour Economy Authority Bill.
In the face of growing security threats within the sub-region, the Minister for Interior, Mohamed Muntaka Mubarak, has challenged Ghana's security services to heighten surveillance, particularly in border communities. The minister, who has been engaging heads of institutions under the Interior Ministry, says the move has become necessary following an increase in recorded crime cases last year.
We have observed heightened public concern over crime trend, persistent border security pressures linked to transnational threats, increasing demand for effective regulation, and growing public scrutiny regarding accountability, service delivery, and respect for human rights. This mixed outcomes underscores the importance of a deliberate, evidence-based performance review such as this one.
The National Democratic Congress is preparing to elect a candidate tomorrow to lead the party into the upcoming Ayawaso East by-election. Ahead of the parliamentary primary, the camp of Baba Jamal, one of the candidates, has challenged pollster Musa Dankwa to release the full details of his recent polls. The polls project a victory for Hajia Amina Adam, widow of the late Member of Parliament. Baba Alhaji is the campaign manager for Baba Jamal.
I am telling you what is happening on the ground. And I am telling you, I dare him to publish the details of his investigation. He didn't do anything here. Where do you publish a general election when you know in Saturday we are holding a general delegate one? Musa Dankwa didn't do any survey in Nima. Whatever he published was born out of his own imagination.
Chief of Staff Julius Debra has issued a clarion call to African leaders and financial institutions to deliberately channel available capital into local enterprises to ignite a continent-wide industrial revolution. Speaking on Friday, February 6th at the 2026 Africa Prosperity Dialogue held at the Pediasi Lodge, Mr. Debra stressed that Africa's journey towards self-reliance must move beyond lofty rhetoric and deliver tangible economic results.
Africa needs patience, development-oriented capital that understands the realities of SMEs, supports innovation and reward growth. Capital must meet credible businesses, and credible businesses must be equipped to absorb investment and scale regionally. Second, we must build trade capability at scale, export readiness, standards of compliance, digital trade literacy, and logistics efficiency.
The Chief Executive Officer of COCOBOD, Dr. Randy Abbey, says COCOBOD, the Finance Minister and the government are putting in place a new funding model that will ensure value addition and prevent raw cocoa beans from being used as collateral. Addressing the media in Accra, Randy Abbey urged stakeholders in the sector to exercise restraint while they work diligently to resolve the situation as quickly as possible.
In 2022, Cocoa Board was unable to service both the interest and principal of the cocoa bills, and therefore asked for a restructuring of the bills. So that told you that the financial community had become aware of what Cocoa Board's situation was, and there was some reluctance in financing the crop. I mean, at the end of the day, Cocoa Board even had to rely on the Ministry of Finance for a $70 million bridge financing.
Time now to get the show on the road. And speaking of roads, the road to Ayawaso East enters crucial phase for the NDC. That's where we are headed now. Now, NDC delegates will have to choose one among 5 contenders, 1 woman, 4 men, to become the next parliamentary candidate for the party. Over 1,000 of them are expected to take part in tomorrow's exercise, which is already tipped in favor of the sole female contender, Hadia Amina Adams. I'll get to that shortly. Right now, however, let's head to the heart of the constituency, Nima, where most of the action sits. Stanley Nible was there for us. Stanley, what can you report from there?
The Nima cluster of schools is going to play host to the Ayawaso East NDC parliamentary primaries, scheduled for 7th February, which is tomorrow, 2026, and already activities are on the ground. The Ghana Police Service had already taken the lead to demarcate areas where delegates would pass to the various centers. So this school is going to host 2 of the centers, which is going to be used for tomorrow's process. So we have Center A and Center B. So these lanes, right from the entrance of the premises or the school premises, 4 lanes have been created by the Ghana Police Service. And so one will serve as an entry point to the polling center, and 1 will serve as an exit. So immediately a delegate walks into the center, you have to use this outer lane into the center. And after you are done casting your ballot and you want to exit the center, you use this lane to exit. And this lane on my right is also going to be the exit point, while where I am positioned now is actually going to be the entry point to polling station B. So you go in there, you go through the process, and after you are done with everything, you'll be directed to use this lane to exit peacefully out of the premises. So tomorrow, security is going to be beefed up here. because the Ghana Police Service, the IGP and the Police Management Board, and the Ghana Police Service in its entirety are not going to leave anything to chance, because so they have prepared their men, they have really trained them, and they are going to carry out this exercise so peacefully. Tomorrow they are not going to entertain any form of chaos. Anybody who is going to come into this center would have to comport him or herself. Delegates that are going to troop in here are expected to go through the process peacefully. There are going to be adequate police personnel here to man the process to ensure that everything goes to a successful end. From 7 a.m. that the process will begin to the post will go to a close, and then subsequent declaration would also follow suit. The police is going to be involved in all the activities that is going to take place here, because like I indicated earlier, they don't want to leave anything to chance. So right from the entrance, tents have been erected outside of these premises, and delegates will not be allowed to mass up here in their numbers. The tent outside there would be the holding place for delegates. So they'll camp you over there in queues as well. So when it is time or your turn for you to come and go through the process, you will be peacefully ushered in through these lanes, one of these lanes, to go and vote or cast your ballot. And when you are done, you'll also be asked to exit the premises peacefully. When it is time for counting and declaration of the results, you can come in to come and observe that process. You will not be prevented from coming in. Already, we've been told that some 1,080 delegates are expected to go through this process to elect one person out of the 5 aspirants who have availed themselves to go through this process to serve the people of the Ayawaso East constituency. Already, we have Baba Jamal, who is the former legislator for Akwetia, and also in the race is the widow of the late MP, who is also seeking to replace her husband. And so already her supporters are already on the street jubilating, making merry about her victory, even though the process has not commenced yet. Let's get to the streets and have a look of what they've been doing on the streets of Nima. Despite their merrymaking and their strong support for Hajia, they have, however, resolved not to engage in any violent activity on the election day, because they consider this process as an internal contest, a family contest, and so there wouldn't be the need for any of the supporters or the NDC supporters in Nima or the constituency to engage in any violence that could mar the process tomorrow. Let's take a listen to what they've been saying.
My name is Mina Kalechi, and I'm working in her company. Like, we don't need to sit in power, nobody. We are the winning team. Who are you supporting? I'm supporting Hajia. Hajia, look nowhere, nobody. Nobody, let's go. Because tomorrow, no fight, no everything. Slow, peace of mind. Everybody make a vote. But delegate, hey, that's delegate. Fear delegate, I swear, delegate. Make a vote out here because it's Kenya. Hey, that's it.
It is no doubt that tomorrow is going to be fraught with activities here in Nima, and the delegates have made their positions clear. They want to give the nod to any of the aspirants who is ready to lead the Ayawaso East constituency, who can devote his or her time lobby for much developmental projects into the constituency. That is the caliber and the quality of person they are ready and willing to give the nod to, so that the person can represent them efficiently in the legislature. For the aspirants, more is expected of them. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Nima.
Stanley, thank you very much for bringing us that report. But I'll go over it again. Remember, 5 contenders are in tomorrow's contest in Ayawaso East constituency. We know that in order of appearance, there's the chairperson of the party in that constituency, Mohammed Ramni. There is wife of the deceased MP, Hajia Amina Adams, Ghana's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Baba Jamal Mohammed Ahmed, Yakubu Azindo, and Naji Mohammed. So those are the 5 contenders on your screen. Now I want to talk about these 5 because the latest Global Info Analytics poll shows that Hajia Amina Adam, who is number 2 on the ballot, but first on our screen right now, she's tipped to be in a comfortable lead ahead of her peers. But Baba Jamal's team have challenged the polls. Let's take a listen to Baba Jamal's campaign team.
I am telling you what is happening on the ground. And I'm telling you, I dare him to publish the details of his investigation. He didn't do anything here. Where do you publish a general election when you know in Saturday we are holding a general delegate one? Musa Dankwa didn't do any survey in Nima. Whatever he published was born out of his own.
Well, so we've been interrogating, or we seek to interrogate rather, that poll that Musa Dankwa put up. Musa Dankwa is author of the research. He's also executive director of Global Info Analytics. Musa, I'll start off from where the young man lives, trying to understand how Hajia Amina Adam is in the lead in your poll. So what are those drivers that put her top of the pack?
From what we've seen, both from the delegates and the general public, I think she's different from her husband. She may not have necessarily inherited her husband's enemies. And as indeed in many elections, every election is different. And the circumstances surrounding her candidature has also played into her advantage when probably people thought it was going to go against her significantly. If you listen to delegates who we spoke to, they don't agree that she shouldn't contest the race by a big majority. So the issue that she's in Idda, that Islamic rituals, and that her husband has just died, hasn't actually disadvantaged her. Then the question of how she's been treated, even though fairly by the party, some voters are of the view that she's not been treated very, very fairly, in the sense that the virtual interview that she requested, or the vetting she requested, that was not granted. Some small minority of people view that to be a bit too harsh, considering the fact that she's in that situation. But again, if you look at the race overall, people were of the belief that by the demography of Nima or Ayawaso East, the Islamic rituals should be highly sensitive to people, because 74% of them are Muslims and around 72% of them are Sunni. But that has not appeared to have impacted the race significantly, which means that the belief that maybe using that as a campaign tool could derail her has actually not happened.
Now, Musa, I want us to look at the data of voter preference because I want you to speak to how that was collected. When we look at it, Hajia Amina Adam is about 58%. Let's look at it quickly. Hajia Amina, about 58%, followed by the former Akwetia MP, now Ghana High Commissioner to Nigeria, Honorable Baba Jamal at 32%, and then it goes on and on in reducing order, right? How did we come to this figure?
Well, this is two different surveys we conducted. The first was among the delegates, and the second was among all voters. They were interviewed between 1st February and 5th February. Yesterday we ended. And with regards to general voters, we sampled 1,500 of them and spread this 1,500 across the 11 electoral areas of Ayawaso East, from the largest electoral area, which is Hot Coffee, to the smallest, which is Ruga, thereabout. So it was shared proportionately in order of voters. Delegate, it was spread randomly across the 11 electoral areas, which contribute to the register of NDC. The delegates were conducted over the telephone, but the general voters were conducted in the field face-to-face.
I also want to point out that for those who have not seen the full poll, when it comes to the predictive poll itself, this 58% is a little lower, between 50 and 54%. But you made mention of these different polls that you collected with different data sets. What really are the differences between the two data sets?
Actually, we have seen the convergence of views from the delegates and indeed overall voters of Ayawaso East, and in particular among the NDC faithfuls. Now, if you look at the delegates in terms of the committed voters model, the delegates are backing Haji Amina by around 54%. And then when you look at the overall for this constituency as a whole, she's getting 58%. Remember, the margin of error for both is plus or minus 3.2%. So broadly in line with the sentiment, which is there's a strong correlation between the views of NDC voters and the views of their delegates in the constituency.
Practically speaking, what does that mean?
It simply means that whatever the NDC folks are saying to us, the delegate will repeat the same.
I see. So it means that it's a done deal for Amina then?
Look, I mean, considering the fact that it is first past the post, we can see her winning the primaries tomorrow. In fact, she doesn't even need to get 50%. She just needs to be ahead, and that is it.
Very well. Mr. Dankwa, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you so much for joining us and explaining the data collection process to us. But we'll stay on this subject because there's a bit more as far as the contest is concerned tomorrow. The NDC as a party has issued a statement, really, where they informed the general public and party members of the event to happen tomorrow in the Ayawaso East constituency, tomorrow being the 7th of February, 2026. A few things to note from that statement as part of measures to ensure peaceful, transparent, and orderly conduct of the primaries. The NDC is stating emphatically that the Ghana Police Service, and as you have seen from that live report from Stanley Niblo, the police really is in charge of providing security before, during, and after the primaries, before being, right now, there are policemen and women on the ground. So the party is also saying to candidates and anybody concerned that no candidate, agent, supporter, or individual is permitted to bring any form of private or personal security to the voting center or its environs. All aspirants and their supporters are required to fully cooperate with the Ghana Police Service personnel deployed for the exercise. Those are the most important issues that have come out from that statement, because what the party is trying to do is to ensure that it upholds discipline and conducts the exercise in a manner that promotes unity, peace, and the collective interest of the party. I want to bring in now the Deputy Director of Elections and IT of the NDC, Tanko Rashid Computer. Tanko, good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us. But I do want to start off, and perhaps this may be an ambush of sort, but it would appear that within your party, you believe Musa Dankwa only when it suits you.
Kemeni, let me say good evening to you and your cherished viewers across the globe. I must say, Musa Dankwa, yes, is somebody we respect. We respect his findings and all that, and we take it on board. Anytime we go into contest, we are going into contest. His findings, we take it on board. We go to the drawing board and study it very well and see some of the gray areas that we think to tighten up fast before the D-Day. I mean, so it's some of the things that he does, we don't joke with it. We listen to him, we take his findings, his results and all that. So that is how he's somebody we respect a lot as a political party in terms of the job he's doing.
We'll work with that politically correct answer, right, to my question or response to my question. But let's look at tomorrow itself. The party is concerned about, or maybe not concerned, but it's urgent, a very peaceful exercise, free and fair exercise tomorrow. Let's talk about the arrangements that will play out on Saturday. Talk to us about those.
Yeah, very well. In fact, as of yesterday, we met all the 5 contestants, the candidates, and with the Ghana Police Service, as well as the Electoral Commission. And then we came out with this roadmap for tomorrow. We are going to use 2 voting centers. Ayawaso East has 11 electoral areas. So we are dividing into 2, 5 and 6. So 5 electoral areas will be voting on one side, and then another 6 electoral areas will also be voting on another side. So we're having 2 voting centers. In total, we are expecting 1,047 delegates to come and cast their ballot. So we've handed over all the security issues to the Ghana Police Service. For Ghana Police Service, they are going to handle the security details. Everything about the security tomorrow is for the Ghana Police Service. So we are entreating our party supporters, activists, as well as the candidates and their supporters that tomorrow we don't want anybody to come there with his own security. In fact, if you defy these orders and appear there with your security, the police will just arrest you. You know, it's not far from the Nima police station where the voting is going to happen. So if you come and you want to do that, they will just let you go and cool off at the Nima police station. And then after the election, then we can deal with that matter. We don't want anybody to disturb the place. In fact, I respect Nima people a lot. I love them. I like them. They are nice people. When you go there, you like them. In fact,
I see, Tanko, now because you have mentioned the subject of security, I want us to stay on that because we have been reliably informed that about certain arrangements as far as security is concerned. This evening, we're told 3 patrol teams have been deployed already to the centers to ensure no unscrupulous persons get access to the auditorium. 1,000 officers to be deployed. Alpha SWAT 6 and Counter 1 from the Accra region also deployed this evening. There's also a standby force and a critical intervention unit at the Nima Divisional Police Command. Is this information you are aware of?
Well, I mean, when we met the police, I mean, they told us their deployment plan. They gave us their strategy. They just want to make sure that nobody infiltrates in that place because we don't want anybody to come and infiltrate and misbehave. You know, this is an NDC internal election, and we know our party members. They are respectable people. I mean, they are people who respect the leadership decisions. And so, but we don't know other people. There are other people who might want to come and mar the beauty of the exercise. So the police are not going to leave any stone unturned to make sure that we have a very peaceful process tomorrow. I'm sure that's why they are trying to make sure that they cordon the whole place and don't allow anybody to come and misbehave there. The thing is about delegates. The delegates will come and cast their ballot and decide for us who should lead us into the March 3rd election. And I know why all this jostling is around it, because whoever emerges winner tomorrow is going to be the MP for that constituency. So
which makes this contest, which Tanko makes this contest very crucial, because Ayawaso East is a safe haven or it's a done deal for the NDC as far as historical records are concerned. And so then the primary becomes the actual election. So we expect all the tension to be tomorrow. But let's look at the police outline. 1,000 officers to be deployed. We know that you have about 1,100 delegates voting in the exercise. It's easy to, strike the ratio and say it's about 1 to 1, one officer to one voter tomorrow. Someone will criticize that and say it's an overkill and it could have its consequences on people's ability or confidence to turn up tomorrow. What do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I mean, Nima is a lovely place. I mean, they've been living with the security people over there. I mean, the only thing is that we just want to make it lovely. You know, when the police are there, they are peace-loving people. When you don't come with trouble, you won't have problem with them. And so we are expecting 1,047 delegates to cast their ballot. That is what we are expecting.
1,047?
Yes. So if these people are all should appear there, I mean, the police are there, that makes it easier for them. I mean, it's a smooth process. You appear there, cast your ballot. If you want to wait around, fine. If you want to go and rest and come back by 4, by that time we would have finished the voting.
You don't think it's too many uniformed men for such a small exercise?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. They are going to be there because of us. They are going to be there because of, I told you that initially that, look, we don't know most of the people who might come and they are not party people. Because this is a party exercise. It's an NDC exercise. But some people will infiltrate there to mar the beauty. They will come and create confusion and to look like it's NDC people who are fighting each other over there. But we started this process for almost 2 weeks now. We have not recorded any incident whatsoever. In fact, when we met all the candidates yesterday with the police and the electoral commission, it was so lovely.
I see.
It didn't look like they were even contestants.
I see. Tanko, hang in there for me. I want to bring in now into our conversation Richard Kumado, who's a security analyst. Richard, you heard my breakdown of the reliable information we've got about security arrangement for the exercise, the NDC's Ayawaso East Parliamentary Primary. What is your expert opinion on the deployment?
I spent a large number of hours at Nima today. I'm also wide, reliable, informed. And I know the police are ready. Normally, when it comes to elections such as this, considering what the police have done around Nima and Nima-related elections over the years, I believe that is what has informed them to increase the number to 1,000. It is based on risk assessment. And I think if you also look back what we did last Saturday with the MPP election, where some constituencies have about 70 police officers, it's in the same line. The police are not leaving any chance. They'll be working closely with the BNI and reliably informed, and we'll be monitoring strongly. And I think we are going to have a serene election tomorrow. Normally, what would the police do? The police will do two things. They will ensure that there's safety for voters, and they will ensure that they provide security assurances for election officers, the police station officers, and the electoral commission officers to do their job. And once that is done,
well, it would appear we lost Richard there. We'll connect that line because it's important we get into the why this does not sound as an overkill, even for his level of expertise in security. But while we rework the lines to get to Richard, I'm going to go back to Tanko Rashid, computer of the NDC. Tanko, what are the most important house rules for the exercise tomorrow that you want voters, candidates, supporters to take note of as the exercise takes off tomorrow?
Very well. Each candidate will come with their party agents. I mean, their agents will be there at each of the voting centers. You know, we're going to have 2 voting centers. So they will have an agent each at the voting center to observe. And then they will also have a collation agent because we'll collate the 2 centers together at the close of the polls to declare the winner. So they will be entitled to that. So we are not expecting them to bring any personal security when they are coming into the voting centers. I mean, so we've had this understanding with each of the candidates, and they are very clear in their mind on that matter. And then we are not expecting people to come in there with cameras to be their phones to go and be taking pictures. I mean, let's allow it to be secret. I mean, secret ballot. So people should not go there and be taking pictures on that. They might have problems with the police. The police will not allow that. I mean, the Electoral Commission have been given all the logistics they need for this exercise. So tomorrow, I know we are going to have a very beautiful exercise. And then
I see. What time does it start? What time does it start? What time does it end?
The voting will start at 7 a.m. in the morning, and then we'll close at 4 p.m.
I see. Tanko, I appreciate your time tonight. Always a pleasure talking to you. Tanko Rashid,
I'm
Computer.
grateful.
Indeed. Tanko Rashid, Computer, is Deputy Elections and IT Director of the NDC. If we do get Richard Kumado back on the connection, we will talk to him about the exercise itself and the security arrangements around it, because it's easy to construe that to be, not only an overkill, but also a wasteful use of our resources, right? So it would be important to answer the question of why. In the meantime, here's what's coming up. Name drops in NPP chairmanship race tonight. A close look at the growing list. Now, it's nearly a week since the NPP went to the polls to elect a new presidential candidate. With that out of the way, the contest for party positions begin to take center stage, and the list of contenders keeps growing. The chairmanship race, for instance, will be one of the hotly contested positions, not only for its importance to the general leadership of the party, but because of the personalities involved. Ashanti Regional Chair of the party, Bernard Nchubwesiako, a.k.a. Chairman Wuntumi, has thrown his hat in the ring despite court processes against him as we speak. Let's take a listen.
The experience and the winning side of me and my style of the politics, I think that it is important to notice where we are at the moment politically and choose somebody who can mobilize the people, because what everybody is saying is that about 2 million people did not vote in 2024 elections. That means we need a mobilizer, the chairman mobilizer, the chairman who can use a research. A lot of people call me as a science and data. I have a group, as a movement group, a political movement group, to use science and data to base on the researches, to work hard, to build a system, to attract, to give hope to people, and to enable the people who did not vote to vote. And the ones who voted also, we encourage them to tell them that when you fail, when you fall, it's not the end. Failing sometimes is part of the process of the success. So when we lost in 2024 doesn't mean we have lost politically. It means that it's part of the process for us to win. That is why we brought Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia back, because we all know that yes, although we did not have it, but we go 41.7. The same way NDC, when Nana Akufo-Addo was the president, consistently, politically, they brought our current president to contest him 2020 and 2024. When he cannot contest again, he took advantage of his failure to win the 2024 elections. It's the same thing, Chairman Woon, to me. I think that per the science and data, per the records, if I become the first Ashanti MPP national chairman from the Ashanti, I think that it can give energy to the base, because Ashanti is our base, and at the same time it can give a positive energy politically to those who think that they have to reach a certain stage before they can move forward. It will encourage them, especially it will encourage the youth. It's going to encourage the youth, because now Yewra J. Kufuor, Yewra Nana Akufo-Addo, Yewra Safumafu, Hackman, Oswajiman, our Council of Elders chairman. I think that once they are alive, it will be good for them also to have somebody they can advise them for our party to reach successful, or where the rationale behind the makers.
Well, gotta love Chairman Woon to me, but you've got questions, I've got questions. We'll do with it what we've heard, right? But he joins a list of equally yoked and equally experienced politicians. We'll go through a list of them and then have a conversation on the back of Bernard Ntubwesiako's interest in the race, right? So let's start off with senior NPP figure, Boakye Ejako, who has a very long history with the party, served as Minister for Energy during Akufo-Addo's first term, contested the NPP presidential primaries in 2018, often associated with party reform debates and internal democracy discussions. Then there's Chairman Woon to me, a very popular firebrand of the party, a long time in service for the party as well, influential with grassroots mobilization. As you heard him there, the MPP needs somebody to ginger the grassroots. He is the Ashanti Regional Chair of the party. One of the most powerful roles as far as the NPP is concerned, because it is the base of the party, the largest base really. And then there's John Bwedu, former General Secretary of the NPP, party administrator, rather than an elected office holder, so to speak. He's closely associated with the party's national executive structure and administrative reforms. Remember that he was replaced with the current General Secretary after he lost that election. He went on to be the director of SIGA. But there are a few more others in the race, right? And I want to tell you about them as well, because there is Stephen Asamoah Boateng, former Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, also a long-time member of the party. He's held other ministerial positions, and he's often positioned as a loyal member or operative of this party. Edward Boateng, also a very familiar name, career diplomat and politician, served as Ghana's ambassador to China, and he's associated with international relations and diplomacy. We also see Kwesi Amwako Atta, who is a veteran politician and lawyer, Minister for Roads and Highways, former Member of Parliament for Etiwi for several terms, really. And there is also the man, Paul Afoko. Now, that's a name that you cannot miss, again, because of some of the things that have happened in the past as far as his tenure as chairman of the party is concerned. We know that last year he released a statement throwing his hat in the ring towards the chairmanship position of the party, coming on the back of nostalgia for old hands and the stability or the stable leadership of what a mature and experienced chairman could bring to the table. So these are the men who are contesting, who have officially thrown their hats in the ring, are ready to run the race for the NPP chairmanship slot. But tonight, our focus is on Chairman Wontumi being the latest to add to the growing list. Evans Inkum is our Northern Sector Bureau Chief based in the Ashanti region, has joined us with some home-based reactions to this. Evans, what can you tell us?
So it's been an interesting analysis among the rank and file of the party in its stronghold, the Ashanti region. And many have begun trying to assess Wuntumi's chances to the recent primary, which saw Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia win. Because Wuntumi is coming from his camp, and there is this rhetoric whether Wuntumi would have contested if Bawumia had lost. Because those who have been putting up that particular rhetoric believe that that would have been strenuous. I mean, competition for him if Bawumia had lost the particular election. But they also, the same people believe that Bawumia win also provide a certain leverage for Wuntumi as far as harnessing his chances is concerned, because it's going to be the same campaign team that is likely, Wuntumi is likely to fall on as he enter into this particular race. But the emergence of the former Ghana's ambassador to China, he also hailed from the Ashanti region, perhaps may neutralize things. But then, Wuntumi has a certain connection when it comes to the grassroots politics. Mm-hmm. How he does it, Kamini, for me, if you ask me, it's quite complex. I don't know how he does it, but 2022, I'm talking about May 2022, when he won over Chairman Odinho Kwekuapia. Prior to that particular contest, even political connoisseurs who hardly seldom get it wrong as far as their political prediction is concerned and intra-party politics of the NPP is concerned, they had even ruled out, or many of them had even ruled out Wuntumi or downplayed his chances. But guess what? He won over Coca. How he did it, some of that it still baffles us, because the very people you meet on the street who will tell you that, well, we don't want him. We don't want him to lead us because maybe he's verbose, he's flamboyant, and what have you. It's the same people who go and vote for him. So anytime Wuntumi is entering into a race, he's somebody that you can never downplay, because he has a way of connecting with the people. And that is why those who believe that he poses a certain level of threat to other candidates believe that, well, he can win the particular contest. But there are others who also believe that, he's not ready for that position yet.
I see, and I'll get to why they say that. In the meantime, you say something, he also alludes to his ability to mobilize and ginger, in his own words, rank and file of the party. But talk to us about the opinions about rank and file with the timing of this, especially when he has at least a couple of court cases against him. How are people able to put the two events side by side?
Well, those who are very critical of him believe that it wouldn't be very, very prudent on his part to pursue this particular course. Because one, whether he will even have time to be visiting, constituencies, electoral areas, to also sell his message. Don't forget that he's almost like reporting to court every day. And what time will he get in mobilizing support or canvassing for vote? So to these people, they believe that it's probably a wild goose chase, and maybe Wuntumi will have to backtrack. But the other people also believe that, well, he has a campaign team who will be doing a lot of the work for him. And so it's a mixed feeling, actually.
Evans, we'll have to end it here as we are out of time for this conversation, but always a pleasure talking to you. Evans Inkom is our Northern Sector Bureau Chief based in the Ashanti region. We've just been looking at Chairman Wuntumi's interest in the NPP's chairmanship slot. Now, remember, now that the presidential primary is out of the way, the executive contest or the, across the country will now take center stage, and the chairmanship slots, the national chairmanship slots, that is starting to take shape. What we'll do now is we'll take a break. When we come back, it's Funky Fugu Friday, but also we'll talk about the 24-hour authority bill. That's coming up on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Welcome back. It's Funky Fugu Friday. Let's get into that now. And that's because we say it is Funky Fugu Friday. That's why it's Funky Fugu Friday. Tonight, the president explaining his fashion choices to Zambian media, by extension, the Zambian public, to gently cure their ignorance about the much cherished traditional Ghanaian smock they misidentified as a mere blouse. Reacting to comments, President Mahama said he was surprised by the attention it received, and the reason is simple. It's been on several international stages, including the United Nations, wearing variations of the smock. Take a listen.
In English, but in our language, some people call it fugu, some call it batakari. Yeah. Now, this is a traditional dress that is made by a local industry. It's part of our culture, and so in the past, it was worn by kings, royalty, and also warriors. When our warriors were going to war, they wore smocks, and the belief was that the smocks were soaked in some herbs, and then some spiritual thing was done. So when you fire a bullet, it can penetrate, you know. And so the smock portrays a lot of things in our culture. And significantly, on the day Ghana, the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence, on the day our independence was declared,
Well, that was in the Gambia. Here in Accra, members of parliament wore fugu to the chamber in response to the Zambian reaction to this. Take a look.
I would say what happened in Zambia is just a blessing in disguise. It has adored and taken to the world stage this beautiful fabric. And sometimes when we wear this, we do not know the genesis. I come from a rural constituency where weavers actually weave the fabric that is required to do this. Just this past weekend in Hamley, one weavers group graduated, and then in Samoa another in my constituency, and these people sit down painstakingly, thread by thread. I thank the president for representing us on the international stage with it, and we'll offer it to the Zambians and to every other African who want to join this beautiful costume. Is available. If you come to Lambuse, my constituency, they are beautifully made and available for sale. So I'll continue to wear them with a lot of pride.
This is culture. This is our identity. You see, yes, we can't do away with cultural assimilation, but not to totally employ the culture of the white people.
And listen, we've been asking you to share your fugu photos with us on social media, and many of you did just that. So we are giving you a feature here on the show. And look at that. Red and brightly colored. Kobe success. And well, we appreciate each and every one. We appreciate each and every one of them. As always, we are grateful that you're part of the program. I just want to point out, though, that the president's visit to Zambia was a bit more than just the smoke. Nearly a dozen MOUs were signed, including travel and visa waivers between Lusaka and Accra, disaster risk management, institutional collaboration between Zambia Development Agency and the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and a host others. So it was much more than fugu. Listen, I've got to go. I'm out of time. I cannot bring you that story on the 24-hour authority bill, but I'll do you one better, because on Sunday at 1 p.m., we will go through that bill page by page and interrogate why IMPs gave it the green light in Parliament, but more importantly, also understand what is in store for us as far as this government policy is concerned. That's on Hot Issues on Sunday at 1 p.m. But remember, tomorrow, Saturday, 7 a.m., Alfred Okanse will be here with this panel to discuss the week's biggest stories on key points. Make a date with him then. In the meantime, have yourself a lovely weekend. I'm Kemeni Amano. I'll see you same time next Friday. Bye-bye.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and